Welcome to episode 395 of AI Brief.
Hello, everyone.
Today we're looking at a huge internal meltdown at a major AI startup and where all that talent landed.
We'll also get into Google's latest acqui-hire involving emotional intelligence.
And some new research on AI video, that is. Well, it's pretty unsettling.
Plus, a full roundup of the other big moves and trending tools.
Okay, let's get into it. The story everyone is talking about is the meltdown at Thinking Machines Lab, TML.
Here, Murati's startup, yeah.
Now, on the surface, it looks like just another startup drama, but the reports we're seeing suggest this was something bigger.
It is bigger, mostly because of who was involved and where they all went. You have a startup that was trying to raise money at a $50 billion valuation.
Which is just a staggering number.
It is, and it seems like it basically just imploded from the inside.
So the reports talk about a big confrontation. The CTO, Barrett Zoff, and some other co-founders went up against Murati. What was that really about?
It was about direction and control. Zoff and the others felt the company was adrift, technically. They wanted him to take over the technical roadmap.
And they were also struggling to get that $50 billion valuation, right?
Exactly. And the other co-founders were actually pushing for a sale.
To who?
To Meta. They wanted a quick exit, but Murati blocked it. She wanted to stay independent.
And that's when things got personal.
It seems so. She apparently told Zoff to just do his job.
Which, is never a good sign in a boardroom discussion.
No, it's not. She fired him a few days later. But here's the key part. Zoff wasn't just out.
Right.
9 other key employees left with him. And they all went straight to OpenAI.
And it turns out Zoff had been talking to Sam Altman for months.
For months. So OpenAI was basically just waiting in the wings to, scoop up the pieces.
It really feels like they were just waiting with a net.
Absolutely. But the most interesting detail isn't the drama. It's Zoff's new job there.
What's he doing?
He's not just leading some research team. He is going to lead OpenAI's enterprise AI sales plans.
Wait, hold on. A highly technical CTO, a guy famous for building models, is now leading sales. That feels like a strange fit.
It does if you think about sales in the old way. But this signals a huge shift in the industry. We're moving out of the let's discover new things phase.
And into the how do we actually deploy this phase.
Exactly. They need people who can walk into a Fortune 500 company and explain this incredibly complex tech to a CIO. It's not about selling software anymore. It's about selling a total transformation.
So the talent war has moved from who builds the smartest AI to who can actually get businesses to use it.
That's the story here. TML failed because they were focused on research prestige, and the market wants products. Zoff's move to a commercial role is a massive signal. The lab era is ending.
Okay, speaking of talent moves, let's look at Google. They just made a big one with a company called Hume AI.
Right, and Hume, for anyone who hasn't followed them, is all about emotional intelligence for AI.
Understanding tone, stress, things like that.
Exactly. Empathic AI. So Google DeepMind has hired their CEO, Alan Cowan, and about 7 of their engineers.
Now, this isn't a full acquisition, it's a licensing deal. But it feels a lot like an acqui-hire.
It's a classic acqui-hire.
Yeah.
You're not buying the company for its revenue, you're buying it for the team. You get to skip the whole recruiting process for top-tier talent.
And Hume itself will continue to operate.
Yes, with a new CEO.
Yeah.
They'll focus on selling training data. But Google got the brain trust.
And they're putting them to work on Gemini's voice features?
Yep, and this connects directly back to what we were just saying. The models are built. Now the real differentiator is the user experience.
They want Gemini to be able to tell if you're joking or if you're stressed.
Precisely. That emotional layer is becoming the new UI. It's what will make an assistant actually feel useful. This is the new front in the AI assistant war.
Let's shift gears to something that honestly is a little unsettling. This new research from Runway.
Yes, the Gen 4.5 model. We talk about deepfakes, but this study suggests we might be past the point of even being able to tell.
So what did they do?
They took over 1,000 people, showed them a bunch of 5-second video clips, and just asked a simple question. Real or AI?
And the results?
They were terrible. Over 90% of the participants could not reliably tell the difference.
90%. So we're just guessing. It's a coin flip.
We are just guessing. Only 99 people out of more than 1,000 scored above 75%. But here's the really weird detail.
What's that?
The hardest things for people to judge were nature scenes and buildings.
That's surprising. I would think a complex forest scene would be harder to fake than, say, a face.
You'd think so. But the study found that the AI-generated videos of nature were often seen as more convincing than the real videos.
How is that even possible? How can the fake look more real than the real thing?
It's about our mental model of reality. Real life is often messy. The lighting is weird. The camera is shaky. The AI generates the perfect version of a forest, the ideal that lives in our head.
So it satisfies our brain's shortcut for what reality should look like, better than reality itself does.
That's the theory. And Runway is calling this a societal tipping point.
The old saying, seeing is believing.
That's broken now. We are now in an era where you literally cannot trust what you see.
Okay, let's slow down a bit and cover some of the other updates from this week. These are the things that show where the tech is actually hitting the ground. First up, productivity. A new tool called Blockit.
Blockit is attacking the scheduling problem. It was started by a former partner at Sequoia, and the big claim is zero humans in the loop.
Right, unlike some of those other AI assistants that turned out to be just a call center.
Exactly. Blockit is pure software, and it learns your preferences from email or Slack. It's already handled over 100,000 meetings for companies like Perplexity.
Interesting. And speaking of assistants, Apple is apparently rethinking Siri.
This is a big reversal. For years, Apple has said they didn't want Siri to be a chatbot. But the new reports on iOS 27 say they're turning it into just that, under the codename Campos.
They really have no choice, do they? Siri feels ancient next to modern voice models.
They have to compete. But the more interesting leak out of Apple is the hardware.
The AI pin.
A wearable AI pin, potentially for 2027. It's supposed to have 2 cameras, 3 mics, something that's always on, always aware of your context.
And this comes just as OpenAI is rumored to be releasing its own hardware later this year.
Hardware designed by Jony Ive, Apple's former design chief. So we're about to see a clash of hardware visions.
While they fight over hardware, Google is making a big push into
A
education.
huge push. They're putting free, full-length SAT practice exams directly into Gemini in a partnership with the Princeton Review.
And they're also working with Khan Academy on a writing coach.
I think that name is important. It's not a writing generator. It's a coach. It's designed to give you feedback and help you learn, not just do the work for you.
Now, I want to touch on a job posting that really caught my eye. Shane Legg at Google DeepMind is hiring a chief AGI economist.
This is one of those signals that you just have to pay attention to. In the post, Legg explicitly said AGI is now on the horizon.
On the horizon. That's very strong language from someone like him.
It is. You don't hire an economist for a theoretical technology. You hire one because you think the economic impact is coming, and soon.
And this ties into what OpenAI's CFO was saying at Davos. She mentioned something called value sharing.
Right, that's a nice way of saying they want a cut of the profits. The idea is if a company uses OpenAI to invent a new drug.
OpenAI gets a licensing stake in that drug.
Exactly. They shift from being a software provider to being a partner in the actual discovery. It could completely change their business model.
Let's do a few quick ones to round out the news. Amazon One Medical.
They've launched an agentic health assistant for handling test results and booking appointments, taking the admin burden off everyone.
XAI.
Grok Imagine was updated. It can now generate 10-second videos with much better audio. They're catching up fast.
And Yelp made an acquisition.
They bought a startup called Hatch for $270 million. It's to automate customer communication. So when you message a local business on Yelp, an AI will be handling the whole booking process.
Okay, that was the news. Let's switch to the tools that are trending right now, things you can actually use. What's first?
If you work with audio, check out Qwen 3 TTS. It's an open-source text-to-speech model family from Alibaba. Really state-of-the-art.
What about a powerful general model outside the usual US names?
You'll want to look at Ernie 5.0 from Baidu. It's the top-ranked omnimodal model in China right now.
We've already talked about Gen 4.5 for video. What about for designers?
There's a cool tool called Pencil. It's an infinite design canvas that's built to work with Claude Code, making it easier to collaborate with an AI on designs.
And for developers who want to build an app from just an idea?
co.dev. It's a tool that aims to turn your ideas into full-stack applications, handling a lot of the boilerplate code.
I like this next one. For anyone job hunting.
Yeah, quick mock. It's very clever. You paste in a LinkedIn job description, and it creates a mock interview tailored to that specific role so you can practice.
Super useful. And lastly, for e-commerce sites.
Omakase. You give it your store's URL, and it builds a shopping AI agent for your customers.
The barrier to entry for building these complex agents is just disappearing.
It is. The tools are ready. The challenge is just figuring out what to build.
And that brings us to the end of today's deep dive. We've gone from corporate chaos to the fundamental nature of reality.
It's been a busy week.
I just want to leave you with one final thought. We mentioned Google hiring a chief AGI economist. When the people building this technology stop just hiring engineers and start hiring economists to figure out what happens after it arrives, what does that tell you about how close we might actually be?
That is the question.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to follow the podcast and share it.
See you in the next episode.